So today I just wanted to update you on the results of my attempt to grow early baking potatoes. I've tried it two ways this year, both seem to have been successful. So I'll just quickly talk you through and talk about the results. So the first thing I did was I tried planting shallots, and I plant them into small pots, I think about 2 litre pots I think. And I let them grow in those for about a month probably. And the reason I do that is because they don't take up very much space when they're in those small pots. So it allows me to get quite a few started in a small area of the conservatory. And anyway, so start the first batch in January and I plant them into bigger sort of 35 litre containers, just 2 tubers in a big pot like that, and I leave those in the conservatory. Now the conservatory isn't south facing, so it's not the best from a light perspective, it's southeast, but it's okay, and they get enough light in there, but they grow huge, and so you need to put canes in really to support them because they're going to grow about 5-6 foot tall. And when I did that I thought, well, God, the leaf growth on these, I'm never going to get any tubers, but I did. I got some decent baking potatoes, and I'll put the results up actually so you can see those. So today I'm doing the second experiment, which are again shallots, started in the same way in those 2 litre small pots for about the first month, again in the conservatory, but this time I planted those tubers in March time, I think early March. Now you don't need to chip them or anything like that because they're all ready to go, and you don't want them any earlier because the key thing is that they're in full leaf in sort of right about the middle of April, and that's what you want because that's when, at least in my location, it's nice and sunny from about the middle of April and it's fairly warm. Now you're still getting nightly frosts, so you've got to keep them well protected. So how do I do that? So what I do is I put them in one of my cold frames. It's a deep cold frame, plenty of clearance, I'll show you in a minute. And I transplant the small pots into those cold frames, and then I cover them with fleece, and I close the cold frame top at night, and I open it and take the fleece off during the day, provided it's not frosty during the day, of course. So it's a bit of work. So for about the first 3-4 weeks, you're kind of prattling around every day with that. Now we tend to be down on the allotment most days, so it's actually not that much hassle. It's like a minute a day or something. So easily worth it for early baking potatoes if you don't buy them from the shops, which we don't. So we rely on growing them in order to get them. The beauty of this technique is that they enjoy all the sunlight that you're getting from the middle of April till now, which is a lot, and because they're in a cold frame, they're sheltered from the wind, they're getting quite a lot of protection in a nice sunny location, so they're getting a decent amount of heat. Now potatoes do need heat. That's one of the things that I've been testing out this year, is how much they benefit from heat versus light. I've put some in a high light environment but cold, which is the greenhouse, and a lower light environment but a warmer environment, which is the conservatory. The conservatory ones did way better than the ones in the greenhouse, so I think I've concluded now that what I need to do is create as much heat and maybe not as much light, so maybe I'll leave the fleece on over them or something like that. I'm not quite sure for next year, just to see what I can do. But anyway, today I'm harvesting just the first 2 tubers because we've got family over, and so we had some nice baking potatoes. And so the ones that we harvested back in May, they've all been eaten now. So beginning of July, time to harvest some more. Now I've actually got only 10 tubers in that cold frame space, and I've harvested the first 2, so I'll show you the harvest from those. So here's this deep cold frame I've got, goes down deep underneath the soil level, and you can see it's pretty deep, and I've got all sorts of stuff in here. So this is my 3rd succession of veggies to come out of this bed, and obviously it's going to get replanted in a couple of weeks' time. But I've got another one there. That one's slightly behind, 2 weeks behind, although it looks a little bit more than 2 weeks behind because it's only just flowering, and so I might leave it for a little bit longer. So I've taken 2 tubers out, so let's take a look at the harvest from those. There we go. So I'm going to tip those out to give you a better look. So there we go. So this isn't a particularly impressive yield as yields go, but I think what I'm trying to achieve is the size, and there's some really good sizes here. So I think I'm generally happy with that for 2 tubers, although I think weight-wise it's not going to be a particularly impressive yield. I'm kind of try and get at least £2 per tuber, but it's not too bad, is it? So looking at that though, I'm kind of tempted maybe to harvest one more. I think this is the one I'll go for. Unfortunately, I've got one green one here, but not to worry, I shall save that one and use that one for next year. So although there's still some good green on these plants, look at these slugs, quite big slugs really. I think, you know, it's looking a bit sickly now, so I'm not too worried about taking it out. So there we go. Let's see what we've got. They're pretty good actually. Again, one of the reasons I like Charlotte is they come out so clean. You know, nothing else that I grow is as clean as a Charlotte. There's another green one. I really should have taken a bit more trouble and earthed these up a little bit. But, well, there's still some good bakers there. Now, some people do point out to me that any size baked potato can be a baking potato. Well, I know that's true, but we like them sort of fist size if we can get them. That's it, I think. I'll have a rummage around in there, see if I can find any more. I'm definitely going to leave just these 2 for next week. So there we go. That's the 3 tubers. I'll stick them in a bag actually and see if I can weigh them. So there we go. That's £10, nearly 6 ounces from 3 tubers. 4.7 kilos. So that is not bad actually. I'm pretty pleased actually with that. So not just big, heavy as well. I thought I'd show you how those potatoes cleaned up. So these are the ones that were good sized baking potatoes, and those, well, I suppose these are maybe just about baking potato size. And then those were the first earlies, so there was 2 tubers of first earlies there, separate. And then these are just the dregs that were left over, so just a few little ones. Not too bad. And I got 3 green ones for next year's seed potatoes. I like to save some of my own for my super earlies, and this is just the rest of the harvest for today. So we've got some mixed herbs, we've got some little cucumbers there for the salads, just a few sugar snap peas and other peas, which we're actually just podding those tonight. We're picking a container a day at the moment of those. Some courgettes, some good sized ones there. And some beans, again we're picking those most days. Some golden purslane, that is so gorgeous. This is going in the salad mixes. And then we've got some mixed brassicas there, really nice. Just some onions from the store. These are the ones we harvested a few weeks ago. Got some nice broad beans. I've got another tub of those, but I couldn't get them on the table. spring onions for the salad mixes, bigger spring onions for cooking, and just the lettuce mixes. So I'm going to add all those extras to that lettuce to make up a salad mix. So that is pretty much it. So this is just a really tiny harvest because we've got family coming to stay with us, so we're just harvesting just for the immediate family that are staying with us this week, and a couple of friends, and none of the extended family, so about half the people we normally harvest for. So it's a really relaxing little harvest day for me today. A little bit early because of the rain coming this weekend. I really don't like harvesting in the rain. Anyway, I thought you might like to just see that. Oh, and some scrappy carrots. I'm not very pleased with these carrots. As you can see, they've got a bit of carrot fly, even though they were stored really high up, about 1.2 metres off the ground. Just can't stop the carrot flying on our site unless we net, and I didn't think that we needed to net, but fortunately all of my main crop carrots are netted. These are just the early ones, so I'm not so worried. We can easily cut those up. There's plenty of good carrot left in them. So that is it, apart from just things from the store. So beetroot from the store and garlic from the store in addition to this. I think this is about it. Now I do have a little ebook all about growing early potatoes, so baking potatoes, salad potatoes, and growing late potatoes and all of that sort of thing, as well as main crops. So if you want to take a look at that ebook, you can find the link to it in the description below. If you're already browsing my book, then you'll find it in the individual growing guide for potatoes, and you can also find it in the year-round growing guide for potatoes. So if you've got any extra hints or tips, then they're really welcome, because I'm trying to get that guide as good as possible. So if you take a look at it and you've got some extra value to add to it, or point out some areas where it's not clear, or whatever, then please do. And yeah, and of course we'll really benefit from that, because we're always trying to push the boundaries of as early as possible. There's only so much space we've got in the conservatory, so getting the best yield out of those is really important. We get them really early, but actually I consider this one is my main crop really. So yeah, the beginning of July is the earliest outdoor baking potatoes that we've harvested so far. And it's interesting actually that these potatoes are the only ones that I grow in the ground. So everything else grows in containers. I do like growing in containers, but I do find that the very best potatoes probably are the ones that grow in the largest possible volume. And although a cold frame perhaps might not be considered the open ground, it's the closest thing I've got to growing in the ground. So my name's Steve, this is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.